Okay. Hello, I am Sagi from the OpenLM support team, and we can start our webinar on the App Manager and the Reporting Hub. Now, I hope that you can see my screen. You can see the old interface of the Easy Admin. And first, I want to talk about the App Manager and the Reporting Hub in general terms. First of all, what it is. Secondly, how you can use it. And thirdly, what benefits does it have? So first of all, I will start with the App Manager. I will demonstrate the App Manager, and then I will demonstrate the Reporting Hub in full. So you probably use OpenLM. You probably know everything there is to know about it. You know all the reports that you need. You get everything that you want, but sometimes you need more. Sometimes you feel like OpenLM just gives you almost everything that you need. Maybe you need one more report type. Maybe you need a bit of managerial capabilities more than OpenLM, the core product, offers. Maybe you want a new field that we don't have, a new calculated field. Maybe you want different and complex reports, and maybe you want it to be a dashboard even. So the OpenLM App Manager and Reporting Hub give you just that. These are our two biggest extensions, which the App Manager allows you to track and monitor and even manage applications which have hybrid types of licenses. Now, what does that mean, hybrid licenses? You all know the floating licenses, but some of you might also have named licenses, node-locked licenses, single-use licenses, any types of licenses. This is why it's called hybrid licensing. Now the App Manager allows it to track just that. You can monitor applications which are operating under a named license. You can monitor applications even if it's floating, even if it's a single use. You can track the usage of them on the workstations. Now, the OpenLM App Manager, besides allowing you to monitor those applications, it also allows you to control those applications and decide who gets to see what. So why is that good? Why is the App Manager, how is it useful? Well, let's say that you have 50 users using named licenses. So named licenses, their profitability is much less because only one user uses them. Let's say that you have 50 users, but you don't know what's going on with their actual usage, meaning that you know that they have the named license because you think that they are using it all day, every day, only that. But the App Manager allows you to see what they're actually doing with that license that they have, the named license that is all for them. Some users, let's say they use it only 2 hours of the week, or maybe they use it only 1 day of the week, or only 1 day of the month when they need to get reports out or something. So those users you can identify as having the wrong license. They will be much better utilized if they will be in the floating pool, for example. So you can see that you have 10 users who are using it for max 2 hours a day or maximum once a week or something. So you just remove their named licenses, give the named licenses to someone else who is in the floating licenses, but he uses like every day 8 hours a day, so you can give it to him. And those other users that had named licenses will now go to the floating license pool and eventually cost less to the organization itself. So it gives you a lot of flexibility and monitoring capabilities to help you understand what's going on with your licenses. Now, the App Manager can also track applications which do not have a license manager whatsoever. They don't even use a license. For example, Excel, Microsoft products, Adobe products such as Photoshop, any application that has an executable, any application that you can activate that is not cloud-based. Now, I also said that the App Manager is able to manage those users, those hybrid license users. What does that mean? So let's open up the App Manager interface here. First of all, you see I have a few applications here. I have Photoshop configured here. I have Autodesk, which some licenses are floating and some licenses are named. I have Microsoft Visual Studio, Power BI, and even pzip, just to show you that it works on everything, like from Notepad to Photoshop, everything. So, first of all, you can set the limit. Why is that good? Let's say that you set the limit to have 10 licenses. You know you have 10 users using named licenses, so you set the limit to 10. What happens if it goes over 10? It goes over to 11. So it will not, the user, the engineer, that will try to pull the license, the 11th license, will be denied. He will not be able to get another license. This way you can pretty much ensure that you will not have any unregistered license usage on those licenses. Because if you only have 10, if an 11th user goes in and pulls a license, so something's wrong. So this is the first thing that you can do, but you can also set the return policy and the consumption policy. Now, if you take a look at the consumption policy, we can define what we mean by license consumption. A license being consumed, does it mean a single application, a single license per application process, or per workstation, or per user on workstation, meaning that can a user open the application 10 times and it still counts as one license? Or is it every process counts as one license? Also, you can deny the multiple versions from being pulled, so they'll be able only to pull one version. And in the license return policies, you can set the bucket duration, release delay, heartbeat. These are parameters that are more accustomed to Bentley software. So it's mainly used for that, but you can return the license when the workstation is hibernating. So let's say that someone pulled a license, opened the application, but went on a meeting or maybe went home. So due to that, you'll be able to just have it automatically return the license once the workstation starts hibernating. So that's nice, and you can set it right here. Now, I talked about management. How do we accomplish that? So management of App Manager is accomplished using the consumption table, the rules table. What are these? You can set different rules to apply on the end user workstation. For example, I want to have the users use within their working hours, for example. So let's say normal USA working hours, between 9 and 8. Not really normal, but for the sake of testing, let's say between 9 and 8 p.m. So we see that now it's 4 p.m. and we want to deny everybody who is using during those times. So I have a workstation here, a virtual machine workstation. After we save it, then we'll try to pull an AutoCAD license, but we got denied. You see that application AutoCAD cannot be launched, access denied due to normal USA working hour rule. So I can't pull AutoCAD as a result. If I remove this, for example, so I'll allow it. So once I try to pull the license again, I'm not denied. I'm able to pull the license. So that's great if you want to set different time zones for those licenses. For example, you have you have one named license. Now you can have people in the USA work with it, and then people in the workers in the UK to work with it, and afterwards users in China can take it. So you can use this to define who can get the license and when. Now, as I said, you can define the time, but you can also define extra conditions to go along with the time. So for example, we can say that if the application is Autodesk and the version is 2017 and the group is USA agent and the time is after 9 and the time is before 8 p.m., then deny. You can add another rule to say that if it's a different group, then allow. You can pretty much do whatever you want because the dimensions that you can choose from are, of course, as you've seen, time dimension, which application we're talking about. So you can do it specifically for Autodesk or specifically for Adobe or something. Which of the users you mean, the username, the workstation of those users, groups that you can choose, organizational groups, version of the application. For example, you can set USA to only work with version 2017. You don't want them to use 2016 because you don't have that in your policy anymore. You want only 2017, so you can select the version and deny all the other versions. You can also select the vendor. It's pretty much like selecting the application, but you can also select the vendor itself. So this is it. This is the App Manager. As you've seen, it allows you to first monitor applications, and when they are monitored, they're just here inside the App Manager as a separate server. So I have Autodesk, ArcGIS, Siemens, many different servers, and I have one server which is a type OpenLM App Manager, which is acts pretty much like a normal licensed server. It has its features inside. Let's see the features inside. You can see who is using those features right now. So I see that 2017, this is me. I'm using it right now. And this is pretty much it. It acts like another license manager. It is installed on, it can be installed on the same server as OpenLM server, or it can be installed on a dedicated server. It depends what's your agent load. I'm saying that because in order to have the App Manager operational, you'll need to install the OpenLM agent on the end user workstations. The OpenLM agent itself is a free component, and you will not have to pay for it if you're using the App Manager. You will only have to roll it out to all the workstations you want it to be installed on. So for example, you can use a script to silently roll out the installation of the agent. So that's no problem there. Now, the App Manager itself, as of now, has for clients, for paying clients, you can get a 1-year evaluation period for the App Manager, totally free. So you can set up your system, see what data it gives you, and if it's useful for you. If it is, then when the year ends, you can just buy it. But until then, you can have 1 year of free testing if you'd like. Now, before we move on to the reporting hub, which is the second extension, probably the biggest extension that we have, before I move on there, do you have any questions regarding the App Manager? If you have any questions, please, you can ask them in the chat, or you can simply just use your microphone or telephone and just ask. Okay, so let's move on. Have you been using OpenLM and did you ever get the feeling that you want more out of the reporting capabilities? Meaning that OpenLM has great reports. It has the license usage report, the license activity report, the license utilization report, licenses not in use report, a lot of very good quality reports. But let's say that you want more. You want to see a report of idle time. You want to see a report of utilization, but differently from what we give. So for that, we built the OpenLM Reporting Hub, which enables you to custom query your usage data and pretty much do whatever you want with it. You can create new fields. You can aggregate fields differently. You can show them in a dashboard, in scheduled reports, in, as you see here, in utilization percentages, which is something that you can get in OpenLM, but you don't have a lot of aggregation capabilities or drill down capabilities. Now, first a bit of technical information. The OpenLM Reporting Hub is essentially a data transformation engine that gets the data from the OpenLM source database and deposits it in a dedicated reporting database. Now, why is that? Why is that good? Why can't you just go to the source database and just query your heart out from there? Well, the OpenLM source database doesn't hold most of the fields that you need. You need concurrent usage, it's not there. You need license quantity, it's there, but it's structured a bit differently than what you want. You want session duration, it's not there. You want denials, it's a bit tricky to get. So you probably, if you have ever tried it, and let's say that that you did get the data that you want, you did all the extra calculations, extra aggregations, somehow you got it working. Next version, we change it. Next version, we change the OpenLM database. We add tables, subtract tables, change columns, change the collation of columns, change the whole structure. And the structure itself of the OpenLM source database is made to fit the easy admin, the interface, the user interface of OpenLM, meaning that it holds almost none of the information that you need, and it does all the post-processing on the user interface itself. Now, the reporting hub gives you, first of all, a structure which will not change. With each version, you will not have to upgrade it, as it will know what to do with the OpenLM database, and you will not change your resulting structure will not change, so your reports will not change as a result. Now, once you have the app manager, the reporting hub configured, and you got the database that you want, the ETL ran overnight, got all your data into the new database. Now, what is this new database? First of all, it's a very user-friendly and very logically structured database. It's specially in-tuned and made for reporting. So it's aggregated in all the ways that you need. It has all the information that you need. It has a structure which is pretty much self-explanatory and very easy to understand. It is a measure and dimension structure. Now, what is a dimension? For example, user can be a dimension. You see all the user attributes right here, the this department of the user, username, last name, first name, email, everything. So you got different dimensions such as calendar dimension to show measures by time, group dimension, license dimension, which holds everything about the license, server, feature, everything, package dimension, user dimension, and workstation dimension. Now with those dimensions, you can get all your measures. You can show your measures right here. So you got the session duration measure, you got the idle time measure, denials measure, license quantity measure, all the measures that you can find in OpenLM. Now, one more thing that you're able to do with the OpenLM Reporting Hub is use any BI system that you want on it. Here you see Power BI Desktop. Now, this is just one BI software from dozens. We choose this one because it's the best one for us to demonstrate the data structure with. But you can use anything, Tableau, Qlik, Csense, Power BI, whatever you choose, you can use it. You can just simply read from that database, and that's it. You read from the reporting database. You can even read from the reporting database using Excel files, using anything that can read from a database, and you'll get this structure. Now, as I said before, you can create new columns. You can create new measures. For example, here you're seeing license utilization percentage. You see it over time. You see it just like as a chart here from 0 to 10 in general terms. You see your quantity. You see it as like a heat map right here by feature. But you can also drill down and show it by group, by username, by vendor, by server, whatever you choose. You can drill down. So the new field that I've created, let me show you. You got utilization, for examples. So now this might look a bit scary and a bit complicated, but it's really not. It's just an if-else here. It's like normal Excel function. You see average, it's an Excel function, max, DAX. There are many Excel functions which you can use here. You just use an Excel function on it. So to put it quite simply, if we take a look at this, we see that you take the average of concurrent usage and divided by the max of license quantity. I get the max utilization right here, for example, and I take the max concurrent usage divided by the max license quantity. So this gives me all the data that I need regarding the utilization. Now you can do whatever you want. You can count the sessions. You can have subtract idle time from the total session duration. Whatever you choose. I've seen one customer create custom field, and a custom field based on that custom field, and another custom field based on those two. So it had like a string of 8 custom fields, each representing something else, and they all work with one another. So it's the only limitation is your imagination. So let me show you how easy it is to actually create these reports. The dashboard that you see here, you're probably seeing this and you say, okay, probably pretty complicated to create that. So no, really not. So let's open a new page, and let's say that we want to see all the users and their session duration. So I just choose a bar chart. I'll go to user dimension and just drag username, just drag it inside, drag and drop. That's it. And then I go to usage measure and get usage time. Just drag, drop it inside. And that's it. The report is ready. All I have to do is sort, and that's it. It's ready. It took me like 10 seconds. Now, let's say that I want to drill down. Maybe I want to see which users are inside the group and how much did they use. So I just go to group dimension right here, go to group name, and just drag it inside. Need to fix it to be above username, and that's it. Now I see all the groups, and let's say that I want to drill down inside one group to see which users are inside. So I can just click and I see all the users inside and how long they've been using. So this can be done with session duration, denials, doesn't matter, just about everything that you can think of. Now you can also, of course, create different filters like in OpenLM. So you want a certain application, or you want a certain server, you just go to license dimension, license server, just drag it in there, and that's it. You can filter to your heart's desire. Now, now I'm showing you the capabilities of Power BI here, but you see that it is very simple to understand what you need to get and from where. You saw I wanted users, just go to user dimension. You want groups, go to group dimension. You want the time, go to usage measure. You want denials, go to denials measure. It's that simple. It's very, very easy, very simple to create complicated and beautiful reports, dashboards, and as you see, everything is customizable. Everything is interactive right here. You can customize it. You can create heat maps, just about everything with this. And this extension, if you want to try this out, you can get it for a period of 2 months, 60-day trial period, and the OpenLM support team will just install it on your system, get you up and running, and you can just start playing with the data. Most users, they don't use this sample report because everybody has something else that they want. Some users want to extrapolate data different than others, so you get a blank page and you just start playing with it. You can't destroy it, you can't do anything bad to it, because even if you destroy the reporting hub database, we just run the ETL, the data engine again, and it creates the database again. So you can go nuts on this. You can play with this to your heart's desire, create how many reports that you want. You can customize the reports to fit different tiers. For example, management report, you can have technical report, whatever you choose. You're not bound by what OpenLM has to offer. You're bound pretty much by your imagination and skill. And that's it regarding the reporting hub and the app manager. Now I will take questions. You can ask in the GoToMeeting chat, and I'll be happy to answer. I have a few questions here. How often is data updated? Now you can set the ETL to run each night, each hour. It depends on the size of your database, but it gathers it's an incremental ETL, incremental data engine, meaning that it gets all the data that it missed from its last runtime. Getting back to the app manager, can you block cracked versions of applications in order to remain legally compliant? Now, this is something that the app manager currently is not able to do, but we are working on a solution. This is pretty much how it started. We are working on a solution to get pirated software. Now, if you use it now, you are able to see if someone is using a pirated software. For example, if you have a license manager of Autodesk with floating licenses, and that's it, only floating licenses. So you add the app manager to it, and you filter out, the app manager has a way to filter out the floating licenses or the licenses that come from the broker. What does that mean? How does that help you? Well, if it's showing in the app manager, let's say that you only have floating licenses for Autodesk and you want to see Autodesk usage. So if it will show up in the app manager, then you'll know that something's wrong. It might be a different type of license that you didn't know about or something, but it can also be pirated usage. Now, this is like a workaround to have the app manager do it. In order for the app manager to do it legitimately, I would suggest to wait a bit, and it will have that capability. We do have that in our roadmap. Now going back to the reporting hub, Lawrence is asking what type of database does it use? The reporting database, the resulting reporting database is Postgres database. We chose Postgres because it's much more attuned to multi-threading and having many users try to pull all the information at once. So it's very useful for that. It reads from all the types of OpenLM databases, meaning Firebird, MS SQL, meaning SQL Server, MySQL as well. It cannot be used on Oracle, only MySQL, SQL Server, and Firebird. Oracle is not. What is the cost of the hub? The cost of the hub, I believe it is $3,000, and also maintenance. It's added a bit to maintenance, but you should talk to sales and they will let you know if they have some sort of discount or if they do something different than what I remember. But anyway, if you want to evaluate it and see if if you even need it, yes, I said Tableau. You can also use Tableau to work with it. Also Tableau, also Click, everything. If it can connect to Postgres database, then it can work, no problem. It just reads from the database. As I said, it can also work with simple Excel files. Okay, so if you don't have any more questions, I would thank you very much for your time. I hope that it was informative for you. These are the two new products that we have, probably the biggest and the newest products that we have. We would like to welcome you to use the App Manager and try it out and see if it gives you any usability. If everything is okay, after that you can buy it. The Reporting Hub, if you ever wanted something more out of OpenLM, I suggest just get the Reporting Hub, even for evaluation. So thank you guys. Have a great day.